And welcome back, everyone. This is Linda Bennett. I'm your spiritual counselor and psychic host for Metaphysically Speaking. If you want to go online to our website, which is Metaspeak, METASPEAK.com, you can do so and post your question or your comments about our website. I have a recommended reading list and television recommended program list as well. And different movies. I rarely go to the movies. I think the last movie I went to was the last Harry Potter. I'm not interested in watching things get blown up and people getting shot and killed and cocaine deals. I can read the newspaper for that. I think on Necessary Roughness, this football guy said he had just been shot. And he was talking to his therapist and he said, "Hey, people get shot every day. This is America." Tragically, that is so. And in our last program, we talked about too much testosterone. So that is fueling the greed of power and controlling on this planet. So many planets go through this cycle of trying to balance the male-female energy of the God force and the male-female energy of our souls. And as things get to a point where they are unredeemable, or you have made huge spiritual progress, the soul goes through an evolution. That's what December 21st, 2012 means. As we get closer to that time, we'll cover it in more detail. But it is about the transformation for the continued existence of our planet. We cannot continue as we have been. It is not possible for us to survive. There was an article in the paper the other day about thousands of unexploded landmines that the United States dropped during the Vietnam War in Laos, and how 20,000 people have died since the end of the war in Laos from unexploded mines. I have a picture here from National Geographic. I don't remember which month it is, in the last 6 months, I think, of an elephant that had the bottom part of its foot, that had its foot blown off from an unexploded mine, and how they've made a prosthetic for it. And if you look in that elephant's eyes, I have it here in my meditation room. If you look in that elephant's eyes, they're the most loving, gracious, kind, sweet eyes. You just want to give that elephant all kinds of kisses and all kinds of hugs, because that is a soul that has decided to let itself be used to show humans the cruelty of war. So you say, why would an elephant allow itself to be born and be destroyed? It's not destroyed. It was in horrific pain. Everybody who saw that elephant and continues to see the elephant can experience the pain. And don't forget, like soldiers will tell you when they come home, or somebody who's been in a car accident, they have phantom pain. The body is whole. The spiritual body is whole. And the physical body has the memory of the spiritual body. So in your sleep, for instance, you're walking around or flying around or zipping around in your whole body. When you come back to your physical life, you've lost whatever appendage that is, but your soul is still intact. So that is why you have phantom pain. The elephant has phantom pain, but he's trying to teach humans of the cruelty and the stupidity of war and the egomaniacal maniacs that think it's a good idea to have war. So in order for this planet to survive, because there are wars all over the place, whether it's over controlling oil or making people submissive or making people follow a religion, it's got to stop. We will blow ourselves up. Whether it's nuclear, whether it's fracking, that is where they explode the earth with explosives underneath the 5-mile zone. And that's what's poisoning water. If you follow Erin Brockovich, she's on a new case now, continuing the old cases of the polluted water, where people in entire communities cannot drink the water because it smells like a god-awful chemical. And one man set his faucet on fire with the water coming out to show that it's nothing but gas and gas chemicals, where the gas and oil companies talk about clean gas, clean oil. No such thing as clean coal. No such thing as clean anything that comes out of the ground. So that's why we must move to solar, wind power, and not nuclear, because you can't get rid of the waste. Wherever it's stored, there it is. with the Fukushima explosion, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, something like that. We've still got radioactive stuff all over through the oceans. There are dead zones in the oceans where there used to be animals, and they found them at the bottom of the ocean. The water is radioactive. It's washing up on the shores of the western part of the United States. We can't do nuclear, and you can't keep blasting the earth, and you can't keep digging. So we need technology that will be available to us as the planet moves forward. And we need to get rid of the male-dominated religions and the male-dominated power structures and governments all around the world. And we need to have equality and balance, which will bring harmony to our planet. So when I talked about the Catholic Church before the break, being stuck between a rock and a hard place, basically, because how can they criticize homosexuality when basically they want us to think the Trinity is a Father and a Son creating life? They're screwed. And if you believe that life is created with a Father and a Son, then you have to think that women are not necessary, and we don't really have uteruses, and babies aren't really coming from women. They must be coming from secret men in some kind of closet somewhere, which of course is nonsense. When you understand the simplicity and complexity at the same time of life, it makes sense. It makes complete sense. Are there planets where people don't have to have physical sexual relations, where everything is thought form? Yes. They have moved beyond the need for physical contact and just deal with each other on a spiritual basis. And the thought, instead of manifesting into physicality, moves into a higher thought form than physicality, but lower than the original God particle, Higgs boson, God particle, God energy thought. So in other words, the Higgs boson and the manifestation of that, the God force, is higher than what it creates if something has to be born. Think about that. If something needs to be born, it's taking a different form, but what created it is a higher level of intelligence. But the thing that gets created evolves up and joins that higher level of intelligence. That's what going back to God means. That's what final resting place for the soul is, or what we call the final heaven. So if you think that all is lost, it is not. There's intelligence in the worms in your garden. There's intelligence, but I'd like to know what it is, in the rooster that's inhabited my house for the last 4 weeks, because it is haunting me, and it is digging up all in my backyard. It's not in my house, it's on my property. It's enjoying all of the worms that I've been cultivating over the years by not using poisonous chemicals in my yard. And it's having a wonderful time, because I don't know if you've ever seen a rooster, but they like to dig everything up and use their beaks to go looking for things. I've got mulch everywhere. I've got my flowers covered up. I'd like to catch that little monster and bring him back to his neighbor, because I have a neighbor who has chickens, and I notified them, and they don't want the rooster. Have you ever tried to give a rooster away? We've been doing that for weeks, and nobody wants the rooster. So, but there's intelligence in the rooster. And he passed by me a couple of times when I was out there gardening, trying to see if I was going to be friendly or not friendly, giving me a little wink and a nod. And I didn't go for him, but I said, I want you out of here. And he just strutted past me, and then he strutted past me again. And you know how they move their heads back and forth. They look silly and ridiculous. But I have asked him to stop digging up my yard, and he has not yet accommodated that wish. I will be speaking to him sharply this week.